so happy about it. I actually think the Red Sox might not suck this year.
This is the Baseball Hour with Tony Maz.
Me.
Presented by Bigelow Tea, Jackson Lumber, Blue Moonlight, Wellesley Testosterone, FindMazMoney.com, Gem Plumbing, and by Golf. On Boston's home for sports, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
They usually still come up about, them coming here this late in the season like it did in 21.
Well, the last time in 21 they came here, they kicked our ass, and then we played well in the wildcard game. So, I remember they got to Nate on that Sunday night game, right? They hit like 5 homers and all of that. So it wasn't as cool as it was supposed to be. But I think just being around the city yesterday, everybody's excited. It's Yankees, Red Sox, national TV on Sunday. So it should be fun. The weather is feeling a lot better, right? It's not as hot. It's in the 70s. It's beautiful. So it's Fenway Park against them. So we'll see what happens.
So there you go. Yankees are in town. Big series with the Red Sox. Both teams vying for that top wild card spot in the American League. 617-779-0985 here on the Baseball Hour. We will open the phones right away, because I want to hear from many of you regarding the series at Fenway Park, how much you're anticipating it. Maybe you're not anticipating it all. What I'm really trying to get a sense of, and I touched on some of this last night, is the buzz factor as it pertains to the Red Sox in the city of Boston as they approach what will be their first postseason appearance, I think, in 4 years. And I say I think, that's presuming they make it. Right now it feels like a pretty safe bet. In order for the Red Sox to miss the playoffs, they would have to blow a 4-game lead to the Texas Rangers here, and that's as of today. But they would have to blow a 4-game lead to the Texas Rangers with 15 to play in the season. Okay? Now, if you think they're going to do that, it's certainly possible. Well, how far be it from me to talk you out of it. What I would also tell you, however, is though that the odds are against it, that the Red Sox still have an outside shot at the division with the Toronto Blue Jays. Hell, if you wanted to get really ridiculous, you could say they even had a shot at the top seed overall. All types of questions about how the Red Sox will answer these final, or handle rather, these final 15 days or 15 games in the season, because let's face it, if you get to the final stage of the season, let's just say the final weekend, and you have a shot at getting a bye, how do you handle that? What do you do? Do you go for the bye and then risk losing your best pitchers, or maybe multiple members of your top 3 in the rotation, or even just Garrett Crochet by himself? Do you risk losing Garrett Crochet to get the bye, or do you pull him back, accept it, and play in the wild card round? And I feel compelled to say this because I think it's been so long since the Red Sox have been in the postseason that many of you don't even realize that the whole postseason format has changed. And I've talked about this before, but I'll mention it again. There is no 1-game wildcard play-in game anymore. Did you hear me? And I'm talking, I guess, specifically to maybe the older part of the Red Sox fan base that hasn't watched the postseason in the last few years, or maybe it's the younger part. I don't know. But there is no 1-game playoff anymore. If you get in as a wild card team and you finish in the top spot of the wild card, you will host an entire 3-game playoff series. It's best out of 3. All 3 games will be played in your ballpark. Does that mean anything to you? And I'm asking you because as the Yankees arrive here, they're obviously pursuing that spot as well. The Blue Jays right now are in first place in the division. So Toronto right now looks like it's going to get a bye. If you finish first, you will get the bye. If you finish behind the Yankees, the game's in New York. Does playing here mean anything to you? So 3-game series this weekend at Fenway. The last time something like this happened was, in fact, in 2021. Alex Cora talked about it right there in the cut we just played for you. The Yankees came in here and swept. The Red Sox, however, had already won the season series with New York. They played 19 games head-to-head that year, and the Red Sox won 10 of them. As a result, the Red Sox had the tiebreaker, the wild card game, which back then was a one-game playoff. That game was played here, and the Red Sox won. In fact, they jumped all over Garrett Cole early in that game. Xander Bogaerts hit a home run. The Red Sox won the game 6-3, I think it was. So now you tell me, does Fenway Park mean something to you? Do you want them to play here? 3-game series, best of 3 rather, and the Yankees come in here. Would you rather do that? Or would you rather be in New York? Let me tell you the one thing I don't want to hear tonight. If you think it doesn't matter, then you shouldn't be watching this weekend anyway. I think it does matter. I think you should play this thing out to the end. I think you take every opportunity to either finish as the top wild card or win the division. If you can get hot and rip off 7 out of 8, who the hell knows where you'll be in position next weekend? Take your chances. The games matter. What I don't want to hear is that these games this weekend have no meaning whatsoever because you think both teams are going to end up in the playoffs. If you think both teams are going to end up in the playoffs and as a result these games don't mean anything, then don't even watch them. Now, that said, many of you may not be able to watch them anyway, so let me add this log on the fire as well. Tonight's game is on Apple TV. If you don't have Apple TV, you cannot watch this game. And I will tell you, after going, losing my mind the other day watching the Red Sox play a 3-game series in a minor league ballpark in Sacramento, where in the middle game of the series, Romy Gonzalez got hurt going out to his position in the first inning, went back to the dugout, and had to stay there in the bottom of the inning because he could not get to the trainer's room until the inning was over. You know why? Because the clubhouse was behind the left field wall. It's like a spring training site. So Gonzalez had to wait. Mickey Mouse, I find it embarrassing that Major League Baseball, through no fault of anyone but their own, was unable to play in a major league stadium between, first of all, in any game involving the Athletics all year long. That's number one. And I mention that only because it's Mickey Mouse. And you know what else is Mickey Mouse? The Red Sox and the Yankees playing their first series in September with playoff implications for both teams, and you can't watch the game on free television. You can't watch it, even if you wanted to. And I know lots of you have many stories like this. This is not a sob story. I have Apple TV. I'm going to watch the game. I know many of you don't. Kevin Majori, do you have Apple TV?
I do not.
Okay, Georgie, you have Apple TV?
There are times where I make the wife go ahead and do the subscription, but I don't. I have the off day tomorrow, so I'm not going to have her do it.
Okay, so Sean, you must have Apple TV. You don't either. Wow, how old is Sean? He's like 20?
21.
He's 21. He doesn't have Apple TV?
That's what he claims.
Why? Because you think it sucks? There's nothing on there you want to watch?
Says there's nothing he wants to watch on it.
Okay, I'll take that, and maybe that's a statement against baseball too. The idea, there was a time, I don't need to tell you this, where if the Red Sox and Yankees played in a meaningful game on a Friday night in September, that not only would NESN do astronomical ratings, but the whole country would be watching. The ratings for the playoff series in 2004 between the Red Sox and Yankees were off the charts. Now you couldn't watch it if you wanted to. And the only thing that can make you feel better is that the situation's the same in New York, of all places. Think of that. Red Sox and Yankees fans cannot watch a Friday night game with playoff implications on September 12th because the Yes Network isn't carrying it, NESN isn't carrying it, and you have to subscribe to Apple TV to watch that game. So now I'm not going to give you the whole spiel about being able to get on Apple TV. Again, I haven't. I'm not the technophobe that Felger is. I'm not going to give you that spiel all over again. But the part of the story that you should be agitated by is the fact that Major League Baseball has farmed out its product and given away games like this that you can't watch what is one of the biggest games of the year in your home on television unless you have Apple TV. That to me is preposterous. So 617-779-0985. What emphasis do you put on this series this weekend? Barry is in Somerville. Barry, go ahead.
Hi, Maz. I'm very excited about this series. This is the most important Yankee-Red Sox series since 2021. And I have an opinion about this whole controversy of the last week about should we go for the wild card or go for the first place. Of course, you win every game you can. But as a fan, it made a difference because last weekend, who were you rooting for, Toronto or the Yankees? I was rooting for Toronto.
Okay, so I mean, I guess that's the entirety of the take. So, look, to me, I'd have been, if you're the Red Sox, you win games. It doesn't matter who wins in that series. You're going to gain on one or the other. So I would say I'd have been rooting for the Yankees in that series, frankly, because I'd go for the division. That's what I would want. You already have the tie-breaking edge over New York. So pick up games on the other team. I'm just telling you that these games have great value. And the one person I really don't want to hear from, you want to tell me that you're not afraid of playing in New York. Fine, the Red Sox just went there. They took 3 out of 4. I complained about the fact that they didn't win the series finale. A lot of you told me that I shouldn't have complained about it. Yet now the Yankees are in front of you again. I don't know. You could have used that game. So you're happy with the 3 out of 4. That last game was a 2-game swing. That was a big one for the Yankees. And if they finish a game in front of you, and the game ends up being played there and you lose, you may regret that game on Sunday night. You may also regret some of the games here this weekend. They all count. I'd rather be playing at Fenway Park. I assume you would too. Just don't tell me that both teams are going to end up in the playoffs and these don't mean anything. Because I know there are people out there that believe that. I think you're out of your mind. 617-779-0985. Alex Bregman, or rather I should say people in the Alex Bregman camp responding to something that Jeff Passan reported recently on ESPN. Passan himself spoke about it. We'll get to that story and add that to the discussion as well on the Baseball Hour.
This is the Baseball Hour on the Sports Hub. Tony Maz and the Baseball Hour on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It was surprising to me, the response when I wrote that he's going to opt out, or that he intends to opt out. Like, no guys, of course he does. He's having a really good season for a big market team that adores him inside of that clubhouse. And when you are a player, the only thing that matters to you going into free agency is what kind of leverage do I have? And if he has the leverage of the Boston Red Sox, a team that doesn't have a payroll as high as it should be, but has one of the higher payrolls in Major League Baseball, if he has the respect of the entire clubhouse and has become a leader to the point where Sam Kennedy will go on local radio and say that, it is important to us to keep him around. We want to. When all of those things are there, it's great for Alex Bregman because he has the ability to opt out and then come back to Boston. Or he has the ability to opt out and look at what the rest of the market holds and take that back to Boston and say, I want to be here, but I want to be here on my terms. At the end of the day, there's a script, guys. We know how this is going to go. And we shouldn't delude ourselves into thinking that Alex Bregman is some sort of magical creature who's going to deviate from it because his love for the Boston Red Sox, for Boston, for Fenway Park, is so overwhelming that it's going to take him away from those principles that brought him to Boston in the first place.
It's Jeff Passan of ESPN. It's on the show earlier in the year. Jeff's a longtime baseball writer, good reporter. And reported a couple of weeks ago that unless something dramatic changes, that there is an injury or a catastrophic slump, I think is how he described it, that Alex Bregman was going to opt out. He says people were, for some reason, surprised, and that's what that cut was really about. So this is another reason, and I say I don't know what's going to happen with Bregman. It sounds like he's going to opt out. It could be Scott Boras just playing games, screwing around with the Red Sox. Boras was asked about it today. Rob Bradford at our competitors, WEEI, really recently wrote this, and he quoted Boras. I got the story on Mass Live, but I think Bradford wrote it first. We're now at the point where you wait until the offseason and see what transpires, Boras said. Obviously, I think he's very open about it. He's enjoyed it there. The team has more defined promise than it did a year ago. With free agency, you have to see how things go. I think Alex has been clear that he is in playoff mode, performance mode. He wants to just focus on that. He had to come back from his injury and do the things he is doing. That's kind of where it's at. So Boras is trying to pour water on it. I think that Boras' side clearly, or the Bregman side, drummed this thing up at the beginning. Or this off, I say this off season, this late in the season. I think that's where this story generated. I think that's where Passan got his information. Why would the Red Sox have the authority to say that Bregman was going to opt out? They wouldn't. That had to come from the Boras side. So now the Red Sox are getting close to the playoffs. I'm sure they don't want the distraction. And Boras is trying to pour cold water on it, which is fine. I don't begrudge anybody any of this. This is all part of the shenanigans that come along with a guy being a free agent. But when I say this is all part of the story, I asked you all yesterday, how do you feel about where the Red Sox are right now? Most of you said you feel good. And I don't blame you. So do I. It feels like they've got some young pitching coming. They're about to make the playoffs. It feels like they're headed in the right direction again for the first time in quite a while. That's good. We all agree on that. But when I asked the question of how much confidence do you have going forward, the reply was less decisive. None of us knows. You can't let Alex Bregman go out that door. I understand this could all just be posturing as part of the free agent process. You cannot let Alex Bregman go out that door. Unless you can replace him with someone that's younger and better than he is and has all the same qualities. And I don't think that guy's out there. So let's get to your calls. Danny is in San Diego. Go ahead, Danny.
Hey, Tony. How's it going, man? Hey, I'll just kind of touch on the Yankee series real quick. I'm very nervous that we're going to drop all three of these games. I kind of got a feeling we're going in this with like this. We took 3 out of 4 from them last series, and they're in Fenway. Fenway's going to be part of the part of the atmosphere. It's going to be electric, and we're going to come out flat. The first couple innings are huge tonight. Unfortunately, can't watch it on Apple TV, but yeah, let me know your thoughts.
Okay, so Danny, I would ask specifically why do you feel that way? And you say they're going to come out flat. I don't think the Red Sox are going to come out flat. I think they're happy to be home. I think there's a lot of hype surrounding this series. And the big thing is they have their pitching lined up for the weekend. Giolito goes tonight. Bayo goes tomorrow. Crochet goes Sunday. And the Yankees counter with Luis Gil, who honestly was lucky to get through what he did in New York against the Red Sox. I don't know how he's pitched since. And he has the potential to be good, but he's been somewhat erratic. I think lately the numbers have been better. So he's got his ERA down a little bit. I'll see if I can get you more specific details on how he's pitched of late. Max Fried is going tomorrow. You know how I feel about him. I love Max Fried, and so that one's going to be a fight. It was a 1-0 game the first time he faced Bayo. Since the Red Sox game, Gil has pitched much better. The Yankees are 2-1. He's 2-0 in those games with a 2.20 ERA. Although, he's not striking out a ton of guys, and he is walking guys. So he's a hard guy to take out of the ballpark for the most part, or at least he has been this year. He hasn't pitched a whole hell of a lot. But, all these games basically come down to little things because the teams are close. So if you think the Yankees suck, that's fine. The difference between the Yankees and the Red Sox overall is microscopic in the course of a 162-game schedule. Head-to-head, the Red Sox have won 8 out of 10, but they lost the last one. And now, these are really the only ones that matter. Patrick is in Portland. Patrick, what do you got? Patrick!
Josh Anthony!
Okay, what do you got, Patrick?
When it comes to the should they go for the bye, I got 2 words for you here, Stantonian single. We know in 2021 we learned that home field really helped because he could have had a 2-run home run in that first or second inning, and it was just a long one off the monster, and let's see how we do here. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you for the call. So there are some people that sort of sneeze at the whole idea, and I'll admit, there was a time when I was one of the people that would sneeze on home field in baseball. I would tell you it doesn't really mean all that much, and as Exhibit A, I would give you that, for example, in the 2007 playoffs, the Red Sox were down 3-1 to the Indians. The then Cleveland Indians. Josh Beckett was scheduled to pitch Game 5. There was some talk about moving him up to Game 4, and the Red Sox didn't want to do that. They then lost. So naturally, people said, well, do you regret not pitching Beckett in Game 4? The Red Sox said no. Now, this was when they had won their first World Series, at least under this ownership, and had a little bit more confidence in their operation. Beckett went out in Cleveland in a potential American League Championship Series clinching game for the Cleveland Indians at Jacobs Field and jammed the bat so far down the throats of the Cleveland Indians that they didn't hit again for the rest of the postseason. And I'm dramatizing there, but you get the idea. The point is, there was a time when playing on the road didn't matter if you had your best guy on the mound. But in 2007, as was the case in 2004, 2013, 2018, the Red Sox had the best team in baseball. So they could win on the road, then come back to Fenway Park and absolutely kick your ass because they were the best team in the game. Now, when other teams came into Fenway, they couldn't win, but the Red Sox could win on the road. So home field meant less to them because they were the best. This team does not have that kind of firepower. And as much as I would tell you that I would put my money on Garrett Crochet in a game in New York, and I'd like his chances, all things being equal, if he's healthy, he's rested, and pitching well, I'll take my chances with Garrett Crochet in any ballpark. I'd much rather have the game here. I think that the Red Sox this year for this team, Fenway Park has made a difference. And if you can catch the Yankees and grab that top wild card spot and leave open the possibility of even winning the division, hell yeah, you go for it. You're damn right. Go for it. Then you can give everybody a week to rest before you open up the division series at Fenway Park, really on the first weekend of October. 617-779-0985. Kevin Majori is going to have your headlines. I see a number of you lined up, so please sit tight. I promise I'll get to you when we come back on the Baseball Hour.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Red Sox and Yankees begin their final head-to-head series of the regular season tonight. The Yankees currently have a half-game advantage on
get back to your phone calls, let me just make this part clear and get this off my chest. When I talk about the game being on Apple TV tonight, and that if you want to watch the game, you can't watch it, I want to focus on that part of it. Okay, this is not about the technology, and that horse has left the barn. Yes, it's a pain in the ass to log in and watch a game on Amazon or on Netflix or on Apple TV. Complete pain in the ass. I'm totally with you on that. That's not going to change, at least in the short term. However, when the Red Sox and the Yankees are playing this kind of series on a Friday night in September, and you can't watch the game on through your customary methods or providers, that to me is outrageous. Outrageous. Kevin Majori, do you remember what you said to me I meant to get to this last segment, but after the first segment of the show, you said something to me off the air about the broadcast. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, about flexing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And there should be an option. I get there was probably a lot of money involved with Apple TV Plus, and they obviously want the big teams, the big markets, but there has to be some sort of thing with MLB that they have the right late in the season, especially September, to say, we're taking this game back. This game has to be on the local networks so that everybody in those areas can watch. Because, it's just, to me, it's ridiculous that a lot of people in Boston tonight and in New York aren't going to be able to watch Red Sox-Yankees, an important Red Sox-Yankees on a Friday night in September because of some deal. And it's obviously it's all about the money, but to me, it's ridiculous that there's no ability to flex out of this game so that everybody can watch it.
To me, and the reason why I asked Kevin to mention that is because this is the story. This is the story. The fact that there is no way out of that deal for them to put this game on the usual places on this Friday night is ridiculous. Really. Go ahead, Kevin.
Can I offer another option?
Yeah.
So, as we know, last night's football game, Amazon Prime. But the local network, so Washington and Green Bay, the local networks got to watch. I don't know if you were going to go in this direction.
Go ahead.
But
okay.
In September, it doesn't have to be all season, but in September, there should be local networks can pick up the game. There should be some sort of clause there. If you don't want to make them lose the game, Nesson and the Yes Network should be allowed to carry the game tonight so that everybody can watch it.
Okay, so Kevin, you beat me to it because this is what I was going to say the same thing. Apple is an international platform, and I suppose now Nesson is too on the app. So if you're a Red Sox fan and you're living in Tokyo and you want to watch the game, you can punch it up through the Nesson app. Fine, except that tonight you can't. So this is the point, that on a night like tonight, Apple should be allowing Nesson and the Yes Network to carry this game in New York and in Boston. Now, and in fact, with the way, again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You could prevent people from watching it on the Nesson app in other parts of the country or the world if you wanted to do that. But for those people who live in this area and either subscribe through the app or through their, for those people who still have cable or however they get Red Sox coverage, they should still be able to do it. They should still be able to do it for a game like this. I find it outrageous, and I say sadly. Baseball is what it is. A big part of their demographics on the older side. So all those people aren't going to be able to watch the game because what? They don't have Apple TV or they don't know how to use it? That's ridiculous.
Can I add one more thing, Matt?
Of course.
So obviously, this week we've on the Felger Matt show brought it up a couple times with Aaron Judge. He's obviously not going to go to the top of the Yankees home run list, but he might pass Joe DiMaggio tonight on the home run list. So a lot of Yankees fans are going to miss that, which goes back to 3 years ago. And I know it wasn't a massively important game, but Albert Pujols hit his 700th home run, and Cardinals fans missed it because the game was on Apple TV.
Excellent point.
It's just little things like this that you add into more than just the game, that where Yankees fans might misjudge passing one of the all-time greats on their team on the home run list.
There are always circumstances that should allow you to get around something. There are, and I don't want to call them emergencies in the traditional sense, but from a broadcasting standpoint, I would say this game is a game that local fans have an interest in Boston and New York. Maybe the game's not national anymore and the rivalry doesn't mean as much as it did once to the people in San Francisco and Los Angeles and Chicago and wherever else. So there's not the national appeal of the sport. But to the people in your market, you can't even put the game on the providers on NESN and the Yes Network in Boston and New York. You can't even do that. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Justin in California. Go ahead, Justin.
Matt, give me just a minute, man. You're the best hour of the day, and I've been wanting to call in for a bit. I was at the game on Tuesday. I live out here in California. Got to see early. Man, honor of my life watching baseball. I've been going since I was little, delivering papers.
Okay, Justin,
the hype is real.
Yeah, get to it. That's all. Go ahead.
The hype is real. I haven't missed a game this season. I'm cautiously optimistic in a long time. The park definitely matters. The wiffle ball field will not play in our favor. Deep center and triples are a secret weapon with the speed we have. We should have local broadcasts. You guys are both right. And do you think Myers can take over at third for Breggy after all the mentorship Breggy has provided? Thank you.
Okay, Justin, you can't swear. So thank you for the call. I appreciate the compliment. But you know you can't drop that word on the broadcast. Stream wins again. Do I think Meyer could take over for Bregman at third? In the long term, yes. In the short term, no. I don't know. I don't want to know. And here's the other thing I would tell you. Why did you go get Bregman in the first place? Because you have too many left-handed batters. You needed a right-handed bat. So now you're going to be in the same problem again because you let him leave because you don't want to pay him? So all those years that the Red Sox were building this, and the whole feeling or sentiment was when they get good again, they're going to spend. Now we're going to let him out of that one too? No way. Keep the player. Unless you're telling me you have some sort of plan to replace him with someone who is as good or better. I will always allow for that. I just don't think that exists. George in Texas. George, go ahead.
Hey, Tony, totally agree that we need to push for this year. You either haven't been watching the last 5 years or you don't watch the regular season. But if Bregman's September looks a lot like August, do you truly believe that Henry's going to pony up and pay him? Why or why not?
Okay, so George, if he goes that bad, maybe he doesn't opt out. I have no idea. There's still a couple of weeks left if he has a bad postseason. I'll be honest with you. Part of me thinks that Bregman's bluffing. Okay, because I know how Scott Boras operates. And as much as Jeff Passan will sit there and say he's had a good year and he'll go back out on the market because he has leverage, if I were Bregman, I'd be worried about going out on the market with that quad injury having happened for a second time. He missed a couple of months. And so what? All of a sudden now he's going to go out there and tell teams, oh, yeah, give me a 5-year deal for $150 million and my quad's fine, even though I've now ripped it twice in the last 4 years or whatever it is? I think the quad injury alone could prevent him from going out on the market. He's going to make $80 million the next 2 years as long as he wants to. He has the right to opt out after next year as well. His right. But if he wants the money, he can take it. The Red Sox can't do anything about that. They have basically committed $120 million to him over 3 years. He's got that in the bank. The only way he opts out is if he can get double that or more than that, significantly more than that on the open market. That's the only way he opts out. There'll be $80 million left. He's got to get somewhere in the 100 to 120 million range at a minimum to opt out of that deal, I think. John's in a car. John, go ahead.
Yeah, I was calling about Bregman, too. The same thing. He hit 16 home runs this year. I just don't see how he can opt out and pass up $40 million over the next 2 years when he can't even reach 20 home runs. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so, John, he missed 2 months, so don't go by the home run total. Go by what he has meant to the team. Do you think he's been worth – put it this way. Are you a Red Sox fan?
Yes, I'm a big Red Sox fan.
Okay, so are you happy they signed him?
I'm very happy they signed him. I think he's worth it to the Red Sox, but I just don't see how any other team would look at him and say he missed 2 months, he hit 16 home runs, let's give him $150 million.
Okay, because teams are stupid. Teams are stupid. They do crazy things. I mean, he didn't have a great year in Houston his last year. The Tigers are willing to give him like 7 years and $160 million or something. Milliken knows the exact number, but it was something in that range, 6 and 150, whatever it was. He could have had 150 over 6 years. He took 120 over 3. So he could have gotten more guaranteed money last year, but he didn't take it. I bet you the Tigers would be willing to offer it to him again, especially if they lose. We'll wrap it up with your calls when we come back. So I'll say to Pete, Danny, and Matt, sit tight. Don't go anywhere on the baseball hour with Red Sox and Yankees opening tonight in about 20 minutes.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Before we get back to your phone calls, obviously, if you've been paying attention, we're in the process of giving away a Ford F-150 thanks to the McGovern Auto Group. So right now, Instagram username DMustafa24, and that's D, M as in Michael, U, S-T-A-P-H-A 24. DMustafa24. You have 985 seconds, that's 16 minutes and 25 seconds, to call us back on the contest line, which is 617-931-0985. And you can qualify, or you will qualify, to win a 2025 F-150 from the McGovern Automotive Group in 98.5 The Sports Hub. Again, the Instagram username, DMustafa24. You have 985 seconds. The contest line number, 617-931-0985. We'll wrap it up with your phone calls here as we approach the first pitch of what is a big series, needless to say. First one in a long time at this time of year between the Red Sox and Yankees at Fenway Park. First pitch just shortly after, is it 7 o'clock or 7:30, Kevin? 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Okay. And I didn't know if it was a later start time because of the Apple TV issue. But that game will be beginning shortly. Pete is in Lowell, wants to talk about the Red Sox pitching. Good, Pete.
Hey, so speaking of the Apple TV issue, isn't this like the same kind of thing as NESN was back in the day? I mean, I remember growing up, my parents would not spend money on that to get those games. And it must have been like half of them. But anyway, what was up with the pitching selection? And it's been a problem for a while now. That, like, why didn't they pitch Harrison when they called him up? Let Tolle get some rest. Like, maybe pitch in Fenway. Obviously, it was better at home. And then maybe Harrison will go 4, 5, 6, 7, and you get the rest of bullpen. Like,
okay. No, so you'd rather see Harrison than Tolle or Early.
No, they were great. But why? So Harrison had just gotten called up, right? And he was going to pitch.
So you want to know why Harrison got skipped over?
No, why they didn't just let the kids throw?
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. That Harrison never came up at that time, I don't think. He might have come up later, but independent, that's really immaterial because you can call him up and add him anytime you want him to pitch. They bypassed him, and I think that what they're telling you, really, is that they like the other two guys better. So they liked Tolle better. They thought there was a better chance that he could help them out, and then they chose Early before they chose Kyle Harrison. Now, Harrison got in a game the other day, pitched 3 scoreless innings in relief. That's good. Dakota from Braintree called up during Felger and Maz, and he's a Harrison fan, and said, did you see the outing? I went back and watched it because at the time I hadn't seen it yet. The game was on while we were in the studio. He pitched 3 scoreless innings. He also gave up 2 balls hit to the warning track, and the breaking and off-speed stuff doesn't look that great to me. It's inconsistent. So the other 2 guys have better fastballs. Well, I shouldn't say that. One of them has a better fastball. Connolly Early, to me, has a better repertoire. Danny's in the car. Danny, go ahead.
Yeah, if I could just touch real quick on Bregman. Tack on $40 million, 1 more year, he gets 164 years. I think we're all holding our breath, speaking of the quad, when he legged out and they had that come-from-behind win with 2 outs, I think. And we're all holding our breath. It's like, oh, my God, he's going to blow his quad out. In regards to, I got to go off on a tangent. We've all done this.
Just be quick.
We all try to save money. We try not to, pay top dollar for streaming and this and that. The other thing, the old days, you listen to the radio. You tried YouTube TV. You tried Fubo. You try Comcast. You try them all. And if you don't pay the money, then you're not going to get the content. And that's where it's headed. It's insane.
Okay, so Danny, look, the thing about the radio, I got you, but it's different. You want to see the game. Okay, and I know your point that eventually, it's reached the point where you want something you got to pay for. What's going on right now is kind of ridiculous. You're already paying for NESN in some capacity. Whether you're getting it through a cable provider or you're getting it through the app, and it's $30 a month. I don't know what Apple TV costs a month. What's it, like $10? $10 a month or something like that? But you're not going to get Red Sox games all the time. So, to me, in a case like this, there should be some sort of allowance for the fact that you're already paying for the product. So, if you're a Red Sox fan, I'm already paying for Red Sox games, and now they get to the big ones, and you put it somewhere else, and I can't watch it? That's ridiculous. So you get to the big games, and you pull out the rug from under my feet? F off, I'm out. I can see why people would be pissed off. Kevin Majori's got your headlines here. Don't go anywhere. Joe Murray will have you for the balance of the night. Everybody have a fabulous weekend. We'll catch you on Monday.
From the Top Your Time Studios, WBZ FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Matt.